Hello, in this video I am going to show you how to create an activity diagram using the enterprise architect. And let's start. Already I have opened up the project. Right click the project, click already added a view. Now I can add a diagram. If you can see, I can add view, and I can add any class view or whatever I want. However, as you can see, I can go and add a diagram under that view. I have already added one activity class view, so I can add a diagram, and in this diagram I would give it an activity diagram, swim lanes, and I have selected the activity in this case, and I will click OK. And that being done, now I can see the tools what are available to me here. So before I go further, I'm going to create an activity diagram using a swim lanes. It is about the online air ticketing system, and let's start actually creating a diagram in the swim lanes. So basically, if you want to, again it is called a partition here, as it is in the video. I will name it as a user, and I will have one more partition here, and I will call it as system, online system. I click OK, and now that I have two partitions, I need to put it correctly here, and I need to bring this thing a little bit down so that I can expand it, and I can drag it and size it to more further. If you are thinking why I am trying to get through that, because I know that it's going to go to another page, and this is another one. Okay, that being done, now we have swim lanes. It is also called partitions. As you can see, the object is called partition here. We have dragged that object, and one is the user, the other one is online system, and we will start drawing the activity diagram for it. And let's bring the initial. As you can see, initial activities, I can remove it if I want. I do not want it to have the initial activity because we know it's initial activity. And let's say the first action is first activity is a URL. The user uses the browser, and we can see that he or she is the user is having to go to the URL, and that's how the user is interacting now. Flow, and then we suddenly have to go to the system, which is below, and he uses that URL to search the online system, search for the flight. The flight, move it here, let's take it here. See, the person is searching for the flight, can bring this thing here. I can say control flow. Now the person is searching for the flight. I can also use this directly, and I can select decision, control flow. I need not give it a name, and I can bring it a little bit here. And again, as you can see, I can actually use this thing. Control flow. But the problem is that if I show it this way, it doesn't clear up the concept. So I need to if you can see now, let's see, bringing the something problem. Okay, let me go and add one more thing. Before I go, I can actually add a action and control flow. Wrong, because I wanted to add an activity, so I need to go to the activity and say control flow, and I need to say fill the form with email and form. That being done, I can move it here, I can move it here, here it is. Go by this way, you say control flow, and now you know this is your object, so you can actually make it little bit bigger. You can make it like that, and then you can bring it like that, and then you can move it like here, and you need to make it a control click, and you need to create it. You can also bring it down if you want, as in this case, and that is being done. And this is what is actually, if the flight is not found, it will go again, it cannot search. So the decision is, if it is found, not found, so it will go again, not found, refine search. That being done, you can always bring it let me bring it again. This stands for found. When it's found, it moves further. It goes to the further, as you can see. Found, and it's moving further. And let's keep it simple. And you can see that is moving further towards the. And what we are trying to do is now we are now moving towards the person has filled the form, and after filling the form what we need to do is to actually look to the preference of the person. So we can actually move from here, and I can select from the activity control flow, and I can say preference. References. Okay, and that being said, now again I will be needing a fork. I do not have to take it from here, I can take it here, and I will say fork, that is vertical control flow, and it actually gives me a fork. I need to make it a little bit bigger, still bigger, and to make it in the center. And then from the fork I can say activities, seed preference, that being said, that is it. And then there is activity control flow that says drinks, and one more is food. Now I need to align them. Drinks, see preference, drinks, and that has been done. Now I need to correct this thing also, so that I have everything aligned in the correct position. So I have all the three. Then again I need to have a fork or a join. I could have said here fork vertical control flow, and that being done, this is done, and then I can select one more from here, the activity, say so selected, and let's move to the right, and you can say selected, and that being done, now what happens is that I will have to, the person needs to make a payment, so control flow, payment, and let's make it a little bit better, and the payment has been done. And then let's say for vertical, control flow, and the person has to make the online payment, so the person has two choices. As you can see, we are running short of the space, we need to extend it. So the person has to make a payment, so activity, control flow, credit card, pay. Now these are the two different methods of payment. As you can see, that being said, let's move to the further. Work, control flow, okay. Again, if you see it from here, I have control flow, that being done. Now the payment need to be validated, so we move to the activity, control flow, validation, and that being done, after the validation has been done, we need to reserve the seat. Seat for that person, because that person has paid for the reserved seat, and then again after reserving a seat we can have again a fork, because there is two different activities that is going to happen after that thing. Control flow, I need to resize it. That being done, so two things happen now. One is the date seat availability, seat available. The airlines would actually update the seat available because one seat has been sold. So that being done, and one more thing, email the buyer about the reservation. Email the buyer for about reservation, that the seat is reserved for him, for which that person has paid. Let's move to the last stage, the final flow, and fork control flow. Here we go. You can see that is a control flow, and that's the final part of it. I need not actually bring it. I can just say the center activity finder control flow, and that's it. And you can see the other sim lane is actually it is moving instead of being there. Okay, and everything is well and fine. That's it. This is what it is. Okay, maybe I think so. Email the buyer, and the final flow has been also undone. Activity final control flow. That's it, and that's it, the ending of it. And you can see it. It is a long process, but it has been done. And let's zoom it and see it. And that's how we create an activity diagram with the swim lanes in the enterprise architect. And this is the one last thing that needs to be there is to view let's move to the further east, and I can say diagram nodes. If I want, or I can say type a node and I say activity diagram online airlines ticketing system R.N.A creation. And that being said, that's it. You can put many other things if you want, however I will leave it as it is. I can bring this thing down a little bit. And make it bigger and bold. That's it. Thank you very much.